Alright, so class, you're going to love this video because it is going to be short. So, the goal for you guys today is for you to be able to solve percents using multiplication. Alright, so I'm just going to go over some examples with you. That's pretty much all the video is going to consist of. Alright, but what I want you to write down is that to find the percent of a number, all you're going to do is you're going to multiply the number by the percent in decimal form. Alright, so for example, 50% of 10. Alright, most of you guys probably already know 50% of 10 is going to be 5, right? It's half of 10. Well, the reason it works is right here, okay? If I take 10, my number, multiply it by 50% in decimal form, which is 0.50 or just 0.5, I multiply it out. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 1 is 5, 1 decimal place in the problem, so there's 1 decimal place in the answer. And I get 5.0, or just 5, which, if you look back, that's half of 10, 50% of 10. Alright, so that's why this works. You just take the number you're finding the percent of, multiply it by the percent, but in decimal form. Okay? That's really important. You want to make sure that you multiply it by the percentage in decimal form. It has to be in decimal form or it's not going to work out. Alright? So, this is the only slide, and it just says some examples on here for you. Alright, so number 1, 42% of 8. Okay, I'm going to take 42%, change it to decimal form, which is 0.42, times it by 8, and I get 3.36. 42% of 8 is 3.36. Alright, number 2, 90% of 35. Alright, so I'm going to multiply 35 times 90% in decimal form, which is 0.90 or just 0.9, and when I multiply those out I get 31.5. Alright, and class, it doesn't matter if you multiply the number first by the percentage in decimal form or if you multiply the percentage in decimal form by the number. Doesn't matter which one you do first. I just usually like to put my numbers with the most digits on top and the number with the least amount of digits on bottom when I multiply. I just think it's easier. Alright, so next, number 3, 7% of 64. Well, I take 7%, which is 0.07, times it by 64, and I get 4.48. That's 7% of 64, 4.48. Excuse me. Alright, number 4, 65% of 110. Well, I'm going to take 110, times it by 0.65, multiply that out, and I get 71.50 or 71.5. Alright, number 5. To find 18% of 28, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take 28, times it by 18% in decimal form. When I do that, I get 5.04. And then number 6, to find 71% of 40, I'm going to take 40, multiply it by 71% in decimal form, which is 0.71, multiply those out, and I get 28.40 or just 28.4. Alright, so that's all you're going to have to do to find the percentage of a number. Alright, so we've used double number line diagrams to find out about the percentages of numbers, alright, to come fairly close. We've used the proportion method, which that's very effective, alright, but it's probably the second most work. Alright, I would say that double number lines are probably the most work, but this method right here, guys, this is going to be your easiest method to use. If you can just remember to convert percentages into decimal form, then multiply it by the number, you'll be able to find the percentage every single time. Alright, this is the method I use most. Alright, whenever I'm trying to find the percent of a number. In my head, on paper, I use this method most. So this is the one I'm going to want you to get to know the best. Alright, but that's it. That's the whole video. So I'll see you all later.